Hey guys, this is CG Stuff again. I'm here with you with another tips and tricks tutorial. This time I'm going to be using space switching for this animation. I'm going to be, let's say, adjusting it. Let me just show you. Before I start, I'm going to emphasize one thing. This is not a space switching fundamentals tutorial. In case you want a space switching, because if you know what space switching is, you guys are going to be comfortable with this tutorial. If you don't, I will link below a space switching fundamentals by P2 Design. So let's get started. Over here, I have this animation, this basic walk animation for this skeleton creature. You can imagine like something like that in Diablo or any ARPG game where it's like an isometric camera. However, there's an issue. I'm still in the blockout stage and I'm still sketching out the animation. There's a lot of things I want to do, but for the time being, I just want the chest to wobble in the sense that I want to take animation data from the other parts of my rig. And one thing I can do that is by leveraging, let's say, the rotation of the hip, the motion of the hip with space switching. That's literally the whole philosophy behind it. And I also urge you to check out Animation Sherpa because they talk about these things as well. So what we're going to do is I'm not going to do this manually because obviously the whole point is doing it manually via empties, but we're also going to use this add-on. It's called Animtoolbox and it can automate this process very easily. So in this situation, what I'm going to do is I want these the torso controllers to start wobbling a bit up and down based on the rotation data of the body. So I'm going to grab this control, let me just isolate it, and I'm going to click on world space controls. What this does is it's going to create actually this proxy controller above my current rig. So any controls, any motion, any data I add to this control in my animation is going to be non-destructive. I'll show you in a bit. So basically, I just want to choose cube, preserve, rotation, and I'm going to make it of type copy transform. So when I click OK, it's going to bake my animation onto this controller, and I can move it, do whatever I want with it. And if I choose, you know what, I changed my mind, I can just clean up, and my animation is it stays intact. In this situation, let's just do a few things. I'm going to again do it, bake it, and now I'm going to enter my graph editor. In this situation, I just want to do something simple. I'm going to start making my chest wobble a bit. However, I'm not going to actually animate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my graph editor. I'm going to use Animate Pro to just isolate the rotations. In my situation, I'm going to make it wobble on the X. You know what I mean? I just want to have some secondary motion. So I'm going to use the isolate curve using control to isolate only the X. And in my situation, if you don't have a make cyclic, since this is a cyclic walk cycle, click Control Shift E and make cyclic. And all you have to do is select all the curves and then with A basically, and just G to move them slightly. Now, this is going to create a slight offset. Now, if you feel that this specific motion isn't that strong, just press A, S, and Y and make it slightly more apparent. So you're going to notice like there's this specific motion that's becoming slightly stronger. Like that. I'm going to make it slightly stronger. Yeah, there we go. So now the skeleton has like this, he's like grumpy, like he's like going up and down. Cool. So let's say I like it. I'm going to bake the motion and, now it has been baked onto my main controller. It's basically like confirming when I press bake. I'm going to do it on the one above. However, now I'm going to do something else. I want this thing to also wobble from above. So I'm going to bake again. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to like click, cycle, and then I'm going to also make it stronger. Yeah, there we go. Okay. However, you can do one thing. Let's assume that, again, you guys have access to a few add-ons. One of them that's very useful as Animlayers. So I'm going to turn on Animlayers. And in this situation, I am going to start adding some extra keys. Obviously, this is the thing. This is the original animation of this specific controller that's already baked from that controller. So I'm going to add another layer. You can see that there's nothing now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a key on this layer. And over here, when he's like basically at the apex of the wobble, I'm going to just add the X on the X controller, basically, just a small rotation, right? And make him actually go down, physically go down, and press Y, right? And I'm going to do this. So you guys can see that he is going down and then I want it to go up again. Either I can copy the original key, but there's a cool thing in this add-on is that when you go to the layer tools, you can just reset key layers. So he's gonna go to the original layer. In this situation, I want him to, let's say, go back up like that, key, and then I want him to actually reset. So basically you have something like this, like a skeleton, you know what I mean? Maybe it's a bit too strong for my taste. So what I can do is I can play with the influence. So let's say I go here and I can, let's say, put the influence at 0.4. Yeah, there we go. So now let's say I like this motion, like make sure you look at it, study your animation, and then make sure that you like it. So yeah, I feel it's not bad. Here's the thing. I'm still working on this specific temporary controller. So I want to bake this animation on my temporary controller. So what I do, I'm going to merge bake. I'm going to click OK. Right now, again, we're still on this controller. We didn't bake anything to the main controller. I'm just going to turn off animation layers. And if I somehow clean up, everything is gone. So you guys need to be careful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to confirm by baking. So right now, this has been confirmed on my main controller, which again, it looks okay. We're getting somewhere. What I'm going to do again is I'm going to unhide all my layers. Again, I'm going to do like some sort of thing on the head where like it's wobbling a bit. Same thing, except now I'm going to use, instead of copy transform, I'm going to use track target. What track target does is it creates like a tracker where you can control it instead of like having a bone that you can control. Let me show you guys. So I'm going to click on head again. I'm going to put track target. It's going to tell me which axis do you want. In this situation, you can see that this is the controller. I'm going to put, let's say, plus Z. The way you know this basically is if you go, you can see that the forward axis is the plus Z of the head. Like the way, let me just isolate the head. You guys need to go to the armature settings. You go to the in front, right? Well, no, not in front, sorry, the axis. And on the axis, it's telling you which orientation the axis of these bones are, okay? In this situation, the plus Z is the one facing forward. And in this situation, I want the bone to be in this location. So I want track target plus Z. Okay, I guess it's minus Z because I have no idea why this is happening, but whatever, it's minus Z. It's basically the opposite of this direction. Okay, cool. So yeah, this is an issue with the rig. This is not an issue with the add-on. So what you guys do in case you see something like this, just go to the constraint and just reverse it. Or it should work fine. I'm noticing that this only happened on this rig, but it's not a big deal. Again, it was minus Z. Just put it to plus Z, and should be fine. Okay, so what we do in this situation, I want again the head to wobble. It's not rotation in this situation. This situation, like since this is tracking the head, this controller the head is tracking through this controller. What we're going to do is we're going to isolate only the location, specifically the location of the Z-axis, because the Z-axis is dictating whether it's going up and down. Okay, notice. In this situation, I'm noticing that I don't have a perfect loop. So in this situation, I can just fix it from here. So because notice, if I just move it slightly, the head is going to, go up and down. It's going to like not fall. Well, it's okay. What we do basically, like we can fix it through here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the first key and the last key, and I'm going to start adjusting my keys slightly. You can also use Animsculpt for this. So I'm going to go into Animsculpt and I'm going to slightly adjust these, right? And again, Animsculpt is like you press Y, or you can just come into Tools and press on this one. Very useful stuff. So I'm just going to slightly shift it, and you can see that his head is wobbling while doing this. And now we have like a proper creature. And again, I barely did anything. I just like adjusted these bones, and now we have this skeleton creature that looks as if he belongs in a game. And again, we didn't adjust the hands, we didn't adjust the feet, we didn't adjust the other stuff. But with these small changes, we're kind of getting there. So to confirm, you bake, and since these constraints were set correctly, it's going to bake correctly. So yeah, this is what I want to show you guys. Again, if you like what you see, I would consider putting Animtoolbox in your arsenal and look at documentation. The developer has great documentations on his YouTube channel, very cool stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys next time.